Hi biology students, this is Mrs. Simmons and I'm here to talk about your next lab, which is covering biological compounds. But before we cover in this short video the items you need and the steps you have to follow, I want to talk about one important thing. Let's see, can you read that? Safety rules. With this lab, you're going to be using several different chemicals, and you're going to be using some test tubes. You're going to be using stirring rods, things of that nature. So it's important that you're careful. Make sure you're in an area that's well ventilated. Make sure you wear the safety gear that you're supposed to wear that I'm going to show you in just a second. This camera, thank you. Make sure you don't play around with the solutions. The solutions are not very strong, but they can stain your clothes, they can burn your hands. So make sure again that you're wearing all the safety gear that you're supposed to wear. Okay, so first things first, and make sure you also review the safety rules that do come with this lab before you get started. That's the first thing you should do. So first thing I want to do is review the items that you have to use for this lab. First thing, test tubes and a test tube rack. So you're going to really feel like a scientist with this lab. And I can kind of turn it to the side so you can see. I just have mine staggered a bit, but there are 6 test tubes. The next thing you have to use is a fork, preferably plastic, so you don't have to worry about washing or making sure it's clean enough after you use it. The next thing you need, a plate. Any kind of plate. Mine is just rectangle shape. It doesn't really matter. You need a paper cup, so styrofoam cup. You need some aluminum foil for this lab. This is Reynolds wrap, only by the best. You need a pair of disposable gloves, plastic gloves, because remember safety, since you are going to work with solutions, make sure your hand is covered. You're going to need goggles that you're going to wear when you're completing this lab. You need plastic stirring rods, and if I fan these out, you'll see there are a total of, oops, after I drop one, there are a total of 7 of the stirring rods that you need for this lab. You need plastic pipettes, and pipettes are just like little eyedroppers. They look like long eyedroppers, and you need 2 of those. You need a test tube brush, so when you're done, you can clean the test tubes, and test tubes are one of those things that when you complete lab experiments, you use over and over and over again. So you'll just use like a drop of soap and this little brush, clean it out, rinse them out, then you can use them again for other labs we have coming up later on. You need a graduated cylinder, and graduated cylinders are used to measure volume of liquids. So you're going to be using this to measure out some liquids, some water. You need an apron. K-12 apron, nice little shiny plastic wrap here. And last but not least, you need some solutions. You need, and I'll hold this a little closer so you can see it. You need copper sulfate solution, and copper is always blue, believe it or not. That's kind of interesting. You need what is known as sodium hydroxide solution, and it comes and it looks like that. Please excuse my nails. I forgot how bad they looked. You need album, solution. You need iodine. And iodine is one of those solutions that if you get it on your clothes, spill it on your clothes, it will stain and it will never come out. That's why it's important for you to wear the apron. Your unknown solution. So this is kind of cool because you're going to kind of predict or figure out what it is, and that's where your scientific method steps that you had to review in Unit 1 will kind of come into play here. And last solution is Sudan, which is also another indicator or solution that can stain your clothes. So again, make sure you have on your apron when dealing with all these once you get started with the lab. The last item I don't have with me right now is distilled water. You do need distilled water again for this lab. They don't give any other type of water like tap or spring water to use. So I would recommend you just go out and buy like a small little jug or a bottle, or if you bought a gallon jug of distilled water for the last lap we completed, you should still have plenty of that left over, so you can just use that now. So I hope you enjoyed my short review of items you need for the lab. When I come back, I'll be going over the first part of the lab. So until then, TTYL. Bye.